it is very popular. Maybe popular isn't the right word. It's very acceptable for people to trash, tarnish, and destroy the name of a Black man. And it's done so easily, including not respecting it. And a lot of time, especially sometimes you see it with the brothers that actually make it a little bit. You know, they're doing their thing. There's a lack of respect, a lot of along the way with a lot of these guys, and we place a lot of blame on what's going on with Black families. We place a lot of the blame at the feet of the Black man. Now, I know that there is a whole segment out there who believe that the blame is being placed at the foot of Black women, but that's not entirely true. Because primarily the responsibility of any culture, the protection of any culture is should be with the men. And one of the things that we take for granted is when we see successful Black men, and when I say successful, I'm not necessarily talking about men who make a lot of money. And I know that we as a culture in this country, we equate money with success. We believe that money means that the person is successful. We call people like Jay-Z successful because he has a lot of money. We call people like Will Smith successful because they have a lot of money. We call the Beyoncés of the world, we call them successful because they have money. But we're not looking at the average, everyday, non-popular celebrity brother, and we don't call him successful, even though he is. And we have a very general understanding of what success looks like. And success looks like a lot of different things in a lot of different areas. And especially when you talk about somebody's story. And a lot of times when you talk about someone's story, a lot of times the most compelling stories are the stories where there's always a fall, where someone falls from grace. And then we look at what happens after they fall from grace, and we call it a comeback. And I'm here to talk to you today, and the reason why the name of the stream today is called Don't Call It a Comeback, because Take Heed to the Message was addressing the Joe Smith situation and how disrespectful the wife was. We're going to get into it today, but not in the way that everyone else has talked about this issue. She said that the wife, take heed, and I'm just paraphrasing her. She basically said that the wife is going to regret what she's done, and especially when Joe gets his comeback. And I'm thinking to myself, what sponsored this stream is don't call it a comeback. The reason why I'm saying don't call it a comeback is because so many Black men have their entire story from start to end is nothing but a comeback. So today, please do me a favor.
But tonight, don't call it a comeback.
Don't call it a comeback. Because the mere fact that Black men have survived, the mere fact that we have survived to adulthood is the comeback, And so today we're going to talk about a few stories, including mine, and I don't want you guys to call it a comeback. And the reason why I'm going to be doing the story the way I'm doing it today is because we as a culture, as a Black, I hate calling it Black culture because we don't have one. We don't have a culture here in the United States. Black people do not have a culture. And if we did have a culture, it would be trash because that's what we celebrate. And that's what we hold out. And our culture is based on the people that our women decide to reproduce with. And so, to a degree, the fact that, and I know ladies don't like to hear this, that y'all all are out here sharing men, that, 80% of the kids are made by only between 12 to 18% of Black men. So all y'all out here sharing the same goddamn men. and then you call those men bum, broke, dusties, and violent and abusive and narcissistic. But you had multiple babies with these dudes, and not only did you have babies with these dudes, you went to that woman's man that was terrible, and you decided to have kids with him too. But he's so terrible. But the dude is so goddamn terrible. So listen up today. Today, do me. See, this is what happens when you can't find stuff. This is why I need a pad. For today's story about the men today, please.
But tonight, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Don't call it a comeback. Black men have been here for years. We've been here for years. We've been doing it for years. But in the United States, it is popular. Hold on. It is acceptable to trash, tarnish, and destroy Black men. And the number one person who does it is the female version of us who share our reflection. That's the number one person who actually does this. Most Black men's story always start with a comeback.
But tonight, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Most Black men's story starts with a comeback. What I want to present to you right now, before we start rolling into this, I want to show you what I mean when I say most Black men's story starts with a comeback.
But tonight, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
Here's a story of a middle school boy from St. Louis, Missouri, and I want you guys to check out his story, okay? Here we go.
School is a joyous occasion, but it can also serve as a reminder of the barriers students around our region face. In fact, one St. Louis teenager walked hours in the hot sun to make it to his 8th grade graduation.
And new tonight, Melanie Johnson reports on his 6-mile journey leading him to secure a pretty special gift for his future.
What does hope look like for you?
I mean, if you want something done, you gotta go ahead and do it yourself.
Xavier Jones is determined not to allow the obstacles in his path stop him from walking in his purpose. What do you think is the biggest problem when it comes to, St. Louis and taking care of African American students like you?
The gun violence.
The 14-year-old lives in North City, and when he did not have a ride to his 8th grade promotion ceremony,
I was going to tell an adult, but my grandpa car is down, so yeah, I was just gonna walk there.
unbeknownst to his grandfather, Xavier came up with a plan.
I looked up Harris-Stowe University on Google Maps, and then I saw walking distance. I said, I can probably make it.
Recruiting his brother and friend to help him make the 2.5-hour, 6-mile trek from Florissant Avenue to his graduation at Harris-Stowe State University.
I wanted to walk on the stage.
And Xavier did just that, getting his diploma, and the steps leading to that moment would change the course of his education. How did you keep yourself motivated? What were you thinking during that 2 hours?
About getting something to drink.
Many of our students come with a story, and many of our students come with environmental barriers that they have overcome or that they are currently overcoming.
Harris-Stowe President Dr. LaTanya Collins-Smith presented Xavier with a full ride to the university. Tuition, books, and fees all paid for.
I just led with my heart, and I followed my heart, and my heart said, this is a kid that needs a scholarship.
On Wednesday, the teen got to see the school for himself on a personal campus tour.
This is a future Hornet, perseverance, determination, grit.
A student with a story.
At the end of the rainbow, there's a pot of gold, and so I learned a lot from Xavier that day. You know, even on your worst day, keep pressing forward.
Turning a new page as a high schooler this fall at Lift for Life Academy. Another chapter in Xavier's walk through life.
But tonight, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
This young man's story is no different than the majority of black men that's in this country right now. his story is already starting with a comeback. Before I get moving, before I continue, let's do something. Let's take care of some business.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
All right, what's up to take heed to the message for becoming a channel member over here at the Real Bravado Network, your Trusted RBN. Thank you, sis, for the channel membership. Also, always supporting, no matter what's going on, is the good sister Almanize. Thank you for the $5 super chat. And of course, as always, when we do the $5 super chat, we gotta give it up. All right. Who's next on the? Okay. All right. 3D radio for a real blunt brother, keep it up. Thank you. Yeah, I'm very, very, very blunt. And for those $20, would you like to always give a good standing ovation? Thank you, brother, for the $20. Always appreciate you. And also, look who's here. Singles by Choice, Mr. Willie Walker stopping by. They are going live, and I think in about 2 hours. So, Mr. Willie Walker over here with the $5 super chat. Support your brother. I appreciate your brother for supporting. Of course, and I got something. All right, Mr. Willie Walker and Singles by Choice YouTube channel is over here showing some brothers some love and support. Appreciate you. The reason why I am having this stream is because I think our women, even the best of us, have a profound lack of understanding of what happened of a black man's journey. We have a profound misunderstanding of our journey and where it comes from. And the fact of the matter is, no matter, as an adult, when you find a black man that's quote unquote made it or whatever that means, you don't understand that the majority of us have already had to start with a comeback.
But tonight, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
We all have had to start with a comeback. This young man's story, this young man who's in middle school, about to go to high school, this brother, if you guys are, those of you that are in the South, you understand now, a lot of us weren't I understand this generation, the current generation of young kids out here are a little bit different than us. So when we grew up in the summertime, being out in 100-degree weather with humidity, that was just kind of par for the course. Our kids are not necessarily accustomed to that because most of us got cars, transportation. We really, handhold most of our kids. So for this young man to have to make a 6-mile walk across let me tell you guys something. North St. Louis is like a 24-hour war zone. It's like a 24-hour war zone. And this brother had to walk. He walked through this damn war zone to Harris Stowe State College. Harris Stowe State College is a historically black college. It's actually called Harris Stowe State University now, but it used to be called Harris Stowe State College. But Harris Stowe is a HBCU here in Missouri, in St. Louis. He walked there 6 miles from his house to attend his 8th grade matriculation. In the middle of the summer, wearing a sweater, long pants, tennis shoes, and a backpack. And in the video, they say, "What were you worried about?" He was like, "Water," because he was hot, dehydrated, determination. We always, black men and our women, black women, you guys know better because most of you grew up in the houses with us. You know what we've been through. But when you become adult women, with your own experiences, with the bum fucks that you fuck with, then you want to all of a sudden forget about your brother or your first cousin that you knew that was like this boy. You want to pretend like you don't understand when you grew up in this stuff and you watched it happen. And then you got the nerve to come out here and talk trash about your brothers when you got cousins, brothers, and other distant relatives, uncles in your family who are like this young man. Most black men, their story always starts with a comeback.
But tonight, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years.
It always starts with a comeback. Somewhere our story starts here, or worse than here. And then when we become adults, we get saddled with a responsibility that we wasn't even prepared to get. And we get blamed for stuff that have nothing to do with us.